Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, June 1, 2024, little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. One of our discoveries and mastering is how to open the heart and tame the mind. Nisargadatta quoted, "Don't rely on the mind for liberation. Just have faith and act on it. You are the sum cause of this entire universe." So I invite you right now to take a deep breath and relax completely in your heart. Feel the pulse and rhythm of your warm beating heart. Become as still as you can and listen to the silence in between each heartbeat. Notice how it feels to relax into this rhythm and let the silence consume you. At the very core of your heart is a golden fountain of peace that is perpetually overflowing with sensations of loving, healing, and relaxing energy. This warm feeling is always here, always available, forever flowing, and so easy to feel. Your heart is the place of true refuge that you can return to at any time. Find your real home. What's your real home? The pure consciousness, the God that you are within that body. When you really relax in your heart, your entire being opens up like a flower blossoming in the sun. In this state, you can fully receive your life. The mind, with its ego-driven nature, does not want to fall into this bliss inside the heart. The mind would rather be busy creating its own version of success. And its own modality of liberation. It wants to achieve something, have personal goals to fulfill, and pursue desires for attaining happiness. Let yourself be silently drawn by the strange pull of what you really love. It will not lead you astray. Sure, your ego has millions of super important distracting excuses for why it cannot just sit, rest, and relax in your heart. It will make you believe that you can discover real fulfillment by achieving it in the outer world. Mind is a trickster, and its ego trip will do anything to remain busy and avoid being wrong. Its whole existence has been about how real success is manifested out there. And to just find a simple, soft, cozy home inside your heart would be quite embarrassing. So the ego will attach itself to anything, any project, person, or idea so that it can work hard to achieve something great and not have to face its futility. Now, the amazing thing about the heart is that it always abides in a natural state of divinity that is quite easily accessed. You may think it's difficult to slow down, trust the heart, and relax into this divine experience, yet it is truly effortless. You are already so tired and completely exhausted from running from one experience to another throughout your entire life that it will be so easy to relax. Your heart is ready to receive you now, and it will not abandon you. It is always available for you, right here in your chest, waiting for you to arrive. Because when you stop and look around, this life is pretty darn amazing. To discover the heart space of bliss, simply hold your attention on your heart and breathe into this space. You can feel the heart's energy opening with every breath you take. Keep your mind fixed on this location as long as you can. Every time the mind, and it will, wanders away, gently and slowly, bring it back to the heart space. Do this practice all day long. This is the first step in taming the mind, which essentially will allow you to transcend all suffering in your life and allow you to discover your original soul path to enlightenment. We know that enlightenment happens when we are in a state of no mind. When the heart is leading the way, the mind is so calm and at ease, it seems to disappear, and only the witness remains. Taming a mind that has been running the show for many decades is going to take major patience and courage. You must think and feel like a wild lion. You must choose to become the king or queen of the jungle. This is the most dangerous jungle of them all. So you must be completely fierce in your focus to remain 100% at peace at all times. It's like you're sitting at the past or staring at the past, whether you know it or not. And as a quote from Nisargadatta, let go of the idea that you are not aware of yourself as the ever-present, changeless, inexpressible reality. What does that mean? Well, what this means is that we are the ones responsible for creating the illusory experience that we are disconnected. Everything is needed and perfect in our world. Even the wonderful illusion of separation is needed, so as later we can create an experience of unification. You find that when we accept our deepest illusions, hardest feelings, the most challenging pools of separation consciousness that we are swimming in, we can one day relax and float downstream, merging back into the great ocean. Because we're always connected with one omnipresent self. We are this single God source that is weaving its way through everything and everyone. It's just that the mind gets in the way and wants something. It wants to be special, loved, appreciated, accepted by the world, by this world. Most people don't believe this in their heart, and thus unknowingly cling to the known, trying to heal, liberate, or enlighten themselves through holding to certain thoughts and ways of thinking about this life. When the mind becomes narrowed down, any one path, for too long, it becomes fixated and tight, like a closed book, and cannot receive the new insights and abundance it could grow into. The most enlightening truth we can handle is the one that greatly increases our power, our wisdom, our inner peace, and manifesting ability. As we evolve closer to the exotic universal truth of who and what we really are, this universe bestows greater gifts and more beautiful manifestations for us to accept and enjoy. The tricky part is that many of us tend to hold tight onto ideas of the past and future. What we think we know feels comforting, especially when met with the great ocean of unknown. The most enlightened and highest experience we humans can tap into is one that cannot be captured by the mind. Yet it reveals itself naturally and spontaneously when the mind is truly at rest and ease. Like the feeling we might get from a spontaneous breeze on a hot summer day. I think we've all experienced that. All of a sudden this breeze comes up. Feels great. If and when we soften our hearts, quiet our minds, and become deeply receptive, we can relax into it and deeply enjoy it. The head alone is not enough. It is too small of a container to take in the outrageous experience of enlightenment. The greatest experiences can only be absorbed with an open heart and soul. When the mind is quite quiet, something inside us instantly aligns with this infinite spiritual essence that is inside everything and everyone. When we devote our lives to quieting the mind and opening our heart to the divine source, we can feel, see, and know our real self. Now, what is our real self? It's that part of you who feels deeply, intimately connected with everyone and everything. It is so vast that it also has room for the experience that we are small, powerless, separated beings stuck in small pools of individuated consciousness. Yet it is so much more. The real self is omnipresent, vast as the endless oceans, extremely bright, beautiful, and so powerful that it instantly consumes all the other versions we make up of what reality truly is. A small heads up or warning, if you will, to the beginner on the spiritual path, because there are those that are just beginning. It can be quite challenging to just choose to step out of your old self and into this experience of being one with the ocean, because everyone around you won't agree or understand what you're going through. We've learned to lean on society for an understanding of who and what we are. Collectively, we humans have spent the past 2,000 plus years attempting to reconnect with this oneness through religion, because we have completely forgotten that we are already permanently connected to the God Source. We have spiritual amnesia caused by a societal mind that was buried under the illusion that we are like swine when in truth we are divine. The illusion is that we are like swine when in truth we are divine. Seeing through this great misunderstanding, We can be liberated from our collective consciousness. We can be free from all suffering, just like how the great masters have done throughout the ages. This collective awakening is part of the greater plan for our planet's spiritual evolution. As long as this belief in separation is the main way our society operates, we must choose each rebel against the norm, or rebel against the norm, if we are ever to find spiritual freedom. The belief system that we are not one being is the main reason why there is still war, poverty, and environmental destruction on this planet. There still remains a belief that we are disconnected. This belief is always being projected, emanating from everybody's mind around you. What everyone believes you are most likely becomes what you believe is true as well. It's safe to say that every single person you have met in this life so far has been overly identified with this idea of a separate self, ego, and most likely will fight for upholding the belief in our separation until the very end. It takes a very, very, very clear mind, a courageous heart, and a determined soul to break free from the matrix of illusion this society is casting over our eyes. Robert Adams quote, "Observe the mind. When thoughts come, ask to who do these thoughts come to? Always watch, witness, and observe. Do not get caught in the thought. Just surrender." To be free from social programming, societal programming, we must choose to first be free from our ego. For our ego to even exist at all, it must hold firm onto some belief in its separate nature. If it doesn't do this, it will feel very lost, confused, and afraid, and eventually give up. The ego must believe that it is a separate somebody rather than an omnipresent nobody. It's been trained to believe it is a drop of water and not the entire ocean as well. This individuated approach to this life has a great payoff of creating a feeling of power, control, and direction in this life. Without the ego, we might believe that all our outcomes and manifestations show up because we are the universe, and the universe is making everything happen. Without the ego, we would only have a feeling of love, abundance, true empowerment, and real inner peace in life. The greatest truth that we can find is going to be the one that liberates us from this limited, contracted mind ego. The truth that frees our spirit is the one that brings forth the deepest feeling of joy into the lives of everyone around us. This truth is found from intimately knowing our real self, our permanent, unbounded, infinite spiritual nature. Only from exploring what it feels like to be at one with the ocean of life can we be free. This exploration is what leads us to find full self-realization, and true liberation in the end. It's pretty self-explanatory for all of us on what we're really doing. Does it feel right? I mean, does it feel good to us on what we're doing in our lives? Or does it feel cramped, right, or tight of what are we doing with life? Many of us feel what? Cramped. Stressed. How many of us hold our attention on our hearts? I don't know. It's pretty slim. Where you actually focus on your heart. Isn't it interesting? The only time we focus on our heart is when something seems to be wrong, isn't it? We kind of take it for granted until something goes awry, and then our attention, not from an intimate standpoint, but for worry, stress, and fear. You'd be amazed on how the heart is so super healing. What would you do if no one paid attention to you? How would you respond to that? Especially if you were the heart in someone's chest and know that someone did not pay any attention to you ever. How would you feel? How do you find the heart space of bliss? Simply hold your attention on your heart. Breathe into this space. You can feel the heart's energy opening with every breath you take. Keep your mind fixed on this location as long as you can. Okay? You have the authority over your life. You found this kingly power because you trust yourself completely and can rest deeply in the central core and essence of your heart. An unknown quote, which I think is great. Hearts are wild creatures. That's why our ribs are cages. Hearts are wild creatures. That's why our ribs are cages. Remember, you're a wild lion. And the wild lion practice is truly simple. Keep placing your attention on your physical heart, breathing into its beating energy, and relax your entire body. Notice where you are holding tension in your heart. Release it with your breath. Where are you not at peace? Watch where the mind tends to wander, noticing how it reacts to this discipline without trying to control it. You will soon experience deep sensations of peace that arise on their own accord. Quote from Osho, with trust, something immense opens up. And this life is no longer an ordinary life. It becomes full of God, overflowing. When the heart is innocent and the walls have disappeared, you are bridged with infinity. Our heart is the greatest doorway for discovering profound states of realization. Whoever has the most open, trusting heart in the room is the one who is tapping into the highest loving power in this universe. This person has the greatest love, the deepest compassion, and the most profound silence within. Our heart has its own brain, containing real wisdom and understanding to reach the most enlightened state possible. The single-focused, intuitive, all-loving heart is there to help the dualistic mind surrender to life. Then you find the deepest source of peace inside you. Without the heart, you would never discover a total release. from the relentless grasping and scurrying of the ego and its overachieving, perpetually desiring mind. Now, once you make this choice to be the master of your mind, you begin your journey into being truly of service for the highest good of humanity. When you've made the heart your real master, a natural river of love, bliss, and connection to the source flows throughout your body. Others are instantly calmed by your presence. Mind in its chaotic efforting state becomes absorbed by the silence within. You feel as though there is a divine healing power alive and breathing inside you that is caressing your soul with each and every breath you take. Release the past. Vision the future. Joy the present. This moment is our opportunity to begin this path of life mastery. Make the commitment right now to direct your mind and breath towards the heart as often as you can every day this week. Whenever you are waiting in line, stuck in traffic, in a boring conversation, walking through town, or just sitting in some chair, bring your full attention to your heart center and breathe. Point the mind back to the center. Relax into your core essence and the simple truth of the spiritual being that you are. There is an infinite soul living inside you, and this is the real you. When you find this connection with your soul, you liberate the mind from all its blocks. You start experiencing this blissful, peaceful being that you naturally are 24 hours a day. Eventually, with enough practice, you will be at one with this unbounded spiritual being that you are. It is always here, right now. It is simply hidden from view behind the desiring ego and wandering mind. When you do find your soul, and you will, the most peaceful, empowering realization will manifest for you. We talked about this as an active meditation because you're about the heart. It's about focusing on the heart, breathing into the heart. This tames the mind. It tames the mind. Much more powerful than the mind. It will bring you so much love, gratitude, and joy into your heart that this one experience will become more rewarding than any accomplishment you've ever achieved in the outer world. This is our time to shine. Receive that spiritual connection that makes our life sing today. The whole, as Buddha quoted Siddhartha, the whole secret of existence is to have no fear. The whole secret to existence is to have no fear. How many of us can say, really, truthfully with ourselves, that we have no fear? Zero zilch. With little practice, you might discover what it's like to be connected with your experience of separation. The most healing, loving, magical, empowering source in this universe is in everything. So it's also in this experience of separation. The more we can relax into it, the more we open our heart and quiet our mind. Most of us do not have open heart. We live in the mind. Pretty obvious that we live in the mind. The more you open your heart, the more you quiet your mind. This is why I talk a lot about being in the heart mind as much as possible. You manifest through the heart mind to the universe, not the ego mind. Ego mind is what? Suffering. And the more we can relax into the heart, to find that the experience of deep separation dissolves itself naturally on its own accord within the core of separation, we will discover the most profound, powerful, unstoppable, and intimate direct connection to this pure channel of intelligent conscious energy that breathes our very core. So, dive into the deepest root of all your problems, faults, self-criticism, and personal issues. These are where you feel the most separate and disturbed. Do not wait until it's the right time to do it. You ever notice it's not the right time. Maybe later. Make it the number one priority of your life to find this loving divine connection that's already here. Trust that it is already here, even if you cannot find it right away. Act as if you are being held like a newborn baby in the most loving, caring mother's arms by simply resting into this feeling of separation. And you will make amazing progress on your spiritual path in a matter of minutes. A great quote from Ramana Maharishi: "You are the supreme being." You are. All of us are the supreme being. And yet, thinking ourselves to be separate from it, we strive to become united with it. What is stranger than this? Through the years, I've talked with a lot of people that when one begins their spiritual path, there is this feeling that who we are is more unreal than real. And what I mean by this is that if and when it can be shocking to discover that what we thought we were our entire lives is not real. We truly have no clue as to who and what we really are. We are that which is beyond what the mind can understand. We are like the infinite edges of the most massive movie screen you can imagine, which has no end to it. The colorful, creative possibilities it could contain. Our freedom comes from knowing our undefinable nature. When we realize that we are more like a blank, multi-dimensional creative canvas, and not all the scenes and stories from the grand film, something inside of us feels very vast and very free. So I invite you to sit back, take a good look at your life. Take one evening to investigate all the wonderful, horrific, typical, unusual, and peak states from your life. Notice if they sum up everything about who and what you are. Is there anything more than this? Ask yourself. What is my real self? Who am I without all these experiences? Do I still exist without these memories? And if so, what exactly is that? Our real self is beyond the greatest mystery any one of us could explore. We are much more amazing and magical than this separated mind ego. We are bigger than all the life experiences that are projected onto us and into us. We are also much more than the pure witness, awareness, and consciousness. We are the totality of it all. We are that which life gets to play, dance, and sing all of itself through. The separate, limiting, suffering self is a comfortable habit, one that can be dropped by simply knowing how to stop identifying with it. Quote from Nisargadatta. You are neither consciousness nor its content. You are the timeless source, the supreme reality. Trust that. The discovery of the real self is a profound spiritual exploration. The realization of who we truly are is a timeless experience that eventually becomes the death of our ego and the beginning of real freedom. Ironically, it is our deepest innermost battle for freedom, our resistance to total surrender, that perpetuates the ego. When we stop fighting, we begin clearly seeing. The truth is revealed when there is no more need to push, pull, prove, or fight for anything. When we stop the struggle against what is, the ego's clouded existence drops and something greater lightens our way. As long as we continue to pursue this life, we are only a separate being, limited in power, love, abundance, and self-expression. We will get attached to goals thinking they will make us happy. Be very careful not to think that these limited ideas have anything to do with who you really are. Concepts of ownership, my life, my body, my thoughts, my stuff, my reality, and my mind are the only thing perpetuating our human experiences of suffering. Drop these ideas. See what is left. Nothing is actually yours, and everything is yours when you realize your real self. There's no more need for the feeling of possession when you see that we are infinite spiritual beings, already intimately connected to everything. Why would we need to attain something when we already feel connected with it? Desires only form out of separation. When we sit and meditate on who we are, looking deep within inside ourselves, eventually the mind will become quiet. It will. When this occurs, we experience the truth that we are eternal beings filled with a great love, magic, and lightness. By knowing this inside, we naturally start living it. We really don't have to be afraid of letting go and trusting our real self. The one source will move us, guide us, shape our minds to reconnect with the hearts and souls of everyone. Living from this space, we finally reach a sense of peace with everything in our lives every day. We wake up and begin practicing being as vast and unlimited as this great infinite universe we are surrounded by. By playing an active role in this life, living out this realization in the sea of people around you, then something dawns on you, that you are truly free. When you see this world clearly, that everything is an expression of you, the real self, you stop hearing what you don't care to hear. You stop seeing what you don't care to see. And you stop feeling what you don't care to feel. Your mind is only fixated on the brilliant diamond of consciousness that it's found. You realize that the world is your mirror. Everyone is always reflecting back to you who you are. If you see an unhappy person, that person is inside you. When you're truly enlightened, the experience of the divine awakening being begins showing up in everyone in the most interesting way. You are in an ever-flowing river of gratitude all day long. So become courageous on this path. Take the risk to meditate. Quiet your mind all day long. Soon, you'll come to know that what it means to be self-realized. Hold an intention to move down out of your head. Relax into your heart. Okay? Now, your head will be sneaky and try to take over many, many, many times. Yet, just bring your energy into your heart space. Imagine your heart is your favorite flower opening its petals up to the great sun. Feel the light entering your heart. It is melting any walls you have inside around feeling loved. Now, pick one person in your past who you are not 100% at peace with. Could be anybody. Could be you. Let these warm walls around your heart melt away and merge with the heart of this person too. Feel the sunlight is also inside their heart. Let go of whatever the mind judges about them. The goal is to be 100% at peace with this being for the rest of your life. When you can do this successfully with just one, then do it with everyone from your past. Take this on as an invitation to be at peace with everyone on this planet, past and future. Practice this. Imagine how that will be. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose, and an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Love your empty, lost parts. Sometimes it just happens that we get caught in doing so many things in this life that we forget to truly take care of ourselves. At the end of the day, we may feel empty, unloved, or lacking something essential. Don't worry. It happens to everyone who is human and beyond. Yet, then you may try to fill that emptiness with something else. Perhaps it's a substance, a person, an activity, a new purchase, or just getting sucked into your phone and feel even more drained and lifeless later on. You know that trying to fill these empty holes with goodies from the outer world will never make you feel deeply fulfilled. This emptiness inside you is the great cosmic mystery that needs something deeper, bigger, and truly satisfying. And the only thing that will truly fulfill you is the connection with your true spiritual essence. It's good to know this essence is always within you, and experience when you make inner peace your number one priority. This all-intelligent universe never makes mistakes. Take this with you for the rest of the day into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Sunday, June 2, 2024. Continue our global guided meditation call around 3:15 p.m. or so. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, purest of the purest, purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening, within you or outside of you, lean into the body, relax, and watch the magic flow in.